All right, understanding blueprints. Let's go through the different types of blueprints. So these ones here, they're all grayed out, are obviously the red ones. So the red blueprints are events. Like this one is begin play. So when you press play, this gets fired. The whole world like appears, and then this event is called. Like this one right here is event actor begin overlap. That happens when one actor overlaps another actor. And then event tick is every single frame the event tick will get fired. And then you can have other ones too that are like keys, J key. You can have like the J key. So when the J key is pressed, this pin will fire and then this pin will fire. So that's pretty much the red ones. Oh yeah, you can also make custom ones. Add custom event, and then you can name it I, and then compile. And over here, you'll see your inputs. You can add all sorts of variables. So let's get into the next node type, which is going to be your things like get player character. So these are green nodes. These are called blueprint pure nodes. They don't have an execution pin. These red ones are like the beginning of the execution pins. Basically, what they do is get information for you, but they also don't need an execution pin. So usually you have to use these with another node like line trace by channel. So something like this, you know, we could get actor location, and then get the target actor, which can be the character, and then we can feed this. So these need these to work because, like, if you have this event begin play and you want to draw a line trace, so this will happen on begin play. It'll read this way, and then it calls this, and then this, in order to fill out the location, it calls on this node, and then this node calls on this node to fill out this pin location. There's two examples. You can get scale, get right vector. These all look pretty much the same, but they do different things. You know, this gets your location, this gets your scale, this gets your right vector. You can get forward vector. Well, you need a center rotator in there. But yeah, anyways, these like get or manipulate information. And then you have your blue nodes, which are like I just had line trace by channel, or set actor location, or set actor transform. So these blue ones make changes in the world is basically how I think of it. So these actually affect the world, and then these are like helpers to then tell the setters how to do things. I guess I don't know that I'd call these setters. Well, I grabbed all sets, but they don't all have to be setters. But yeah, the blue ones basically make things happen. The green ones help the blue ones make things happen. The red ones, they tell things when to happen. That's basically how I look at it. All right, and then here are a bunch of different variables. So these are all like the most simple forms. We can see right here. This is just this. So you got Boolean byte. So this one's a true false. These are all numbers. They're pretty self-explanatory. This one's a name, string, text. Vector is it's a variable with 3 different numbers. So yeah, these are your standard variables. And then you have things like floats, or like an array. So you can have, so right here's a float, and that's a singular float. But when it has these boxes, that's an array, which is basically like a list of a bunch of different floats. So you can have a bunch of different numbers in here. And then It tells you the index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can populate this at runtime and grow it and shrink it. It's a little bit complicated. So those are a little bit different. But for the most part, these are really simple. These are just numbers and true false statements and strings and rotator, transform. And these ones that are a little more complicated, like these three, are actually just like a bunch of these put together. You can break them. Break. And then you get the different versions. And then these can be broke again. And then float is as low as it goes. It doesn't get any, you can't break it again. Yeah, it doesn't work. But yeah, so if you want to like know if there's anything in these, you can keep breaking them and opening them up and you can see all of the information that they have. So there are like structures that are pretty complicated. We could do something like that, pull this out, break, and then you'll get all of the variables that are in there. So a structure is just a group of variables. So you can have, many different variables in a structure, and it's just one node that you have to deal with. And then all these are tied to each other. They're stuck with each other. A way to get these is after you've made them over here, you can just drag them out. It'll give you the option. You can either get the health, so that it'll get the value that's in that node, or you can set it. So you'll have the get and the set. Like if you wanted to remove health, you could do subtract a number 10 and then feed it into health. And then, I don't know, you could just use like a begin play or something. And now when the game, like when you, okay, wait, actually I gotta set that variable. So we'll set to health to 100. And then like when the game begins play, what's going to happen is this health right away is going to have 100, but once this fires, it's going to set, which means this is going to call back to this node, which is going to try to subtract health or 10 from health, and it'll set it. So instead of 100, it'll be 90. And then to see it, we can do a print string, and then this is just like a little helper node that converts a double value to a string. And then when you play, you get 90. So that's, if you can understand this, you pretty much know how blueprints work. So I think what we're gonna do now is we're gonna make a teleporter. I think that's gonna be pretty simple and easy to do. I think I want like a cylinder. Yeah, let's go with that. I think I'm gonna make it a little shorter. Compile. To make this work, what we're gonna do is we're gonna delete that. We're gonna delete that. We're gonna delete everything. On our player, first person character. So this already comes with some blueprints in it. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a new event based on a button click, and I think we're just gonna go with F. So F key right there. And now you get your two outputs, pressed and released, and then key. I don't really mess with that much. So we know we're going to use this F key in order to teleport. And we're going to create, you can create your own custom events. Add custom event, and then teleport. So this is a custom event that we made, and we can call this from the player, but there's going to be a problem. So here, we'll try to teleport. I don't think that's the right teleport. right here, teleport. BP actor, teleport. So this is our BP actor, and then teleport. So if we try to call this, well, it fails. If you compile, it's an error, and it is, this blueprint self is not a BP actor, therefore target must have a connection. So this was like one of my biggest problems when I first started learning blueprints is, okay, how exactly do I know what to put into here? These blue ones like this, they can take many different actors, because you could have many different types of actors. The blue one is just an actor reference. It's not something super specific like like a Boolean is red and the vector is yellowish orangish. This is blue and kind of vague. So what this actually is you need to get an actual like representation of an actor in the world. So if it exists, you can get a reference to it. But if it doesn't exist, then, well, you couldn't even get a reference to it. So that's what this is asking. It's like, does this exist? Where does it exist? What is this thing that you want me to call on? So there's many different ways that you can get a reference to this actor. One of the easiest ways, if you just have it out in the world and there's only going to be like one of them, or you can do different things. You can have multiple of them. You could have like many different ones and you could just get like the closest one. But one of the easier ways to do it is you can just get all actors of class. And we can switch the class to BP actor. And because I know this is only going to be one, we can just go get. And then if you click this check mark, it gives you things specific to the blueprints. A copy, or to the array, I should say. At index 0. 0 is actually like the first index. They just start off with 0. And I know that this will work because we're getting all of the actors of a class, but that's the only actor of that class. And then I'm just getting that and then putting that into teleporter. If you wanted to do many of them, you could then like check the distance to player, or you could do many different things. But this should be good enough now. If I compile, that went away because we know that we're getting a reference to a BP actor because I found all of the BP actors in the game and made an array of them. And then because I know there's only one, I chose that one. But this is good enough for now. So this will call this teleport event. And then what we can do is set actor location. And then here's your target again. Which actor do you want to set the location of? We want to get player pawn. So this is telling this code in this function that we want to get the player pawn. We want that actor to move. And then our new location, we can get actor location. Get actor location. Oh, we'll turn this on. Actor location. And then we could just plug this in, but it's going to try to go to the center, which is, the center is like down at the bottom there. And we don't want the player to be like half in the ground, so we're going to pick something up higher. We're going to do an add. This is XYZ. Z will do like 50. No, let's try like 80. Okay. So what this does now, get actor location, gets the location of this actor. So it's going to get its location, and then we're going to add 80 to the Z, and that's going to be the new location where we're going to set our player pawn. And then we can tell it to sweep to that location if we want, or if we want it to just teleport. I think if we just leave it alone, it'll work just fine. So this should be good enough code now that when I get in the game and press F, it'll get the BP actor, all of them, and then it'll get the first one out of the array, and then it'll call teleport, and then this will call teleport, and we'll teleport right on top of that. So there. Way back over here, press F, teleported. So if we alt drag, so now we have 2 in the world. The new problem is, now if you have 2 of them, you need to know the difference between each one. So you can differentiate based on distance. You can check the distance to player for all of the actors in the array, and then teleport to the closest one or the furthest one, or you could make like a map and like choose which one to go to, or and so on and so forth. But yeah, so now that we have 2 in here, we're gonna try teleporting to, it's probably going to be this one right here, because this was the first one made, and then that one will be the second one, so it won't go to that one. But yeah, we'll try teleporting now. So yeah, we go to this one, not that one. So that's kind of how the blueprints work in Unreal Engine. Like or dislike, comment, subscribe, bye.